From Ohio Christian University, it's the Trailblazer Basketball Network. The OCU Trailblazer Basketball Network, brought to you in part by
Domino's Pizza of Circleville, located on Lancaster Pike, 740-477-2541. 740-477-2541.
Circleville Subway is a proud sponsor of the OCU Trailblazers Basketball Network. Subway, eat fresh.
Service Master Clean by Todd George. They will help you get clean and stay that way at work and at home. 740-687-1077. Fairfield Christian Academy has a K-12 program that's committed to molding young minds to have a Christian worldview while providing an education of excellence. Learn more at fairfieldchristianacademy.com.
Thank you for watching the Trailblazer Basketball Network.
Back here in the Maxwell Leadership Center, Rick Cooper counting you down to the opening tip. It's Ohio Christian and Mount Vernon. Let's meet the starting lineups for both of these teams. First of all, for Mount Vernon, their point guard is Jason Dawson, 6-foot senior from Columbus, Ohio. He's a co-captain on this team with Caleb Williams. He played 3 seasons of Division I basketball, most recently a year at Gardner-Webb, spent 2 years at Wofford, and wanted to play his final season close to home. Played at Worthington Christian High School and is going to play his final year with the Cougars, averaging a team best 17 points and 4.3 rebounds. Had an ankle injury earlier in the year that has tried to play through, but trying to compensate for that interior sprain has caused all kinds of back problems. He's only at about 85%. Matt Moore sees his biggest change in his explosiveness to the rim. It has slowed him down a little bit, but I'd like to be slowed down and average 17 a game. He's still doing a nice job. He'll play the point tonight. Mark Lieberman will play the shooting guard, number 1, 6'1" freshman from Lebanon, Ohio. Wanted to play here so badly at Mount Vernon, committed after beginning of his junior year, which is kind of unheard of, averaging 9.5 points and 3.3 rebounds. The small forward tonight is Matt Angel, 6'4" junior from Columbus, Ohio, 4.9 points, 3.6 rebounds. Angel was a JV player a year ago, got a little bit of varsity time, got inserted into the starting lineup late last year and has never given up that starting spot. Zach Zeltman will play the 4, 6'5" senior from Lancaster, Ohio, Fairfield Christian High School, 6 points and a team best 7 rebounds. Zeltman shoots 50% from the field, and the man in the middle is Caleb Williams, 6'8" junior from New Bremen, Ohio. He's a co-captain on this team. Williams averaging 15 points, 6 rebounds, and 1.7 blocks. He was held to only 1 point on Saturday in their most recent loss, 78-68 against number 5 Indiana Wesleyan. Let's tell you that Matt Moore is their head coach, 33 years old, 4th season, 43 wins, 57 losses. He wins at a clip of 43%. For OCU, their point guard is Evan Bartlett, 5'9" freshman from Huber Heights, Ohio, 4 points and 2.4 assists. The shooting guard tonight is Wesley Russell, 6'4" sophomore from Columbus, Ohio, 15.6 points and 5.6 rebounds. The small forward is Trey Vaughn, the junior from Uniontown, averaging a team best 17 points and 43% on threes. Evan Mills will play the power forward, number 11, 6'4" sophomore from Columbus, 4 points, 3 boards, 41% field goal shooting. And big James Nelson back into the starting lineup for the 2nd straight game. Nelson from Dayton, Ohio. He'll wear number 52, averaging 11 points along with team highs in rebounds and blocks, 6.3 rebounds, 1.9 blocks, and he shoots 54% from the field. Tony Stockman is the OCU head coach, 5 wins, 2 losses, a 71% winning percentage for the Ohio State grad. 2005 Ohio State grad, 2000 Ohio Mr. Basketball. We'll take our final timeout and throw the basketball up next. It's Tuesday Night Hoops, presented by Subway, here on the Ohio Christian University Trailblazer Basketball Network.
You're watching the Trailblazer Basketball Network. The OCU Trailblazer Basketball Network, brought to you in part by
Domino's Pizza of Circleville, located on Lancaster Pike, 740-477-2541. 740-477-2541.
Circleville Subway is a proud sponsor of the OCU Trailblazers Basketball Network. Subway, eat fresh.
Service Master Clean by Todd George. They will help you get clean and stay that way at work and at home. 740-687-1077. Fairfield Christian Academy has a K-12 program that's committed to molding young minds to have a Christian worldview while providing an education of excellence. Learn more at fairfieldchristianacademy.com.
If you're enjoying today's game, watch it again at trailblazerbasketball.com.
Just about set for the opening tip here in the Maxwell Leadership Center. Second meeting of the year between Ohio Christian and Mount Vernon. As we said, Mount Vernon won 77-75 back on November the 3rd in the championship game of the A-Plus Auto Brokers Championship. It was Mark Lieberman that hit a jump shot with 29.7 seconds left that broke a 75-75 tie that proved to be the game winner. Jason Dawson added 25 points, including 4 threes for the Cougars en route to being named tournament MVP. Trayvon led OCU with 20 points on 5 threes in that one. For Mount Vernon, the big storyline in this game is the return of Xavier Howland. He's played 3 games for this team, was an NCAA Division I recruit for Longwood University in Virginia. Mount Vernon did not see Xavier Howland back on November the 3rd, was battling some injuries at that time, including pulled hamstring that kept him out 6 or 7 weeks. He's at about 85% right now and has really been a big addition to this Mount Vernon team. Again, he's not 100%, but he's a Division I recruit that ended up in Mount Vernon. The story there was he had verbally committed to Longwood University down in Virginia, had said yes, and the way Matt Moore told it to me, before he could sign the papers and to make it official, Longwood got their hands on somebody else, a higher prospect, and kind of left Xavier Howland high and dry, and so he had made a connection to Matt Moore. Matt Moore's got a strong connection to Fort Union Military Academy down in Virginia, the school that produced Eddie George and Jason Dawson, their leading scorer, played down there, but Moore has a connection with their basketball coach, runs some camps down there with the head coach at Fort Union, and had met Xavier Howland through that basketball camp. And so when things kind of began to unravel for Xavier Howland, he immediately called Matt Moore, and late in the year said, "Coach, do you have any, got a spot for me? Got some scholarship money?" And things worked out, and he has called Mount Vernon home, and this will be his 4th game of the season. He played 31 minutes over the last 2 games against Taylor University and Indiana Wesleyan. Mount Vernon's in the Crossroads League. It's an NAIA conference, one of the best basketball conferences in the country. They're the only Ohio team in that 10-team conference. 8 out of the 10 are from Indiana, including Indiana Wesleyan, Grace College, Taylor University. Spring Arbor is the only school from the state of Michigan in that Crossroads League that was once called the Mid-Central Conference, changed its name this past summer. So that's a little bit on Mount Vernon. Getting ready to get underway. Your referee is Lawrence Walden. The umpires are Adrian Lawrence and John Tipton. Trailblazers in their home white with the blue numbers. Mount Vernon, the visiting blue with the white numbers. It'll be Big James Nelson to jump it up for OCU, and again, it'll be our referee, Lawrence Walden, to throw it up. Zach Zeltman, the senior from Fairfield Christian, controls the opening tip for Mount Vernon. Caleb Williams, their big center, second leading scorer, with it top of the key, dumps it off to Matt Angel. Angel to the right side, and Lieberman. Here's our first look at Jason Dawson, their leading scorer. Dawson goes top of the key, and a reach-in foul is going to be charged to Evan Bartlett. It's Evans first, and the team's first non-shooting foul. So Mount Vernon will inbound right in front of Shelby Rowe, Chelsea Black, and several of the Lady Trailblazers. Looking to inbound is Matt Angel. Angel to Zeltman around the horn to the left side. Dawson off a screen, top of the key. 3 on the way by Lieberman, no good. Williams had a hand on the rebound, finally controls it. Left side Angel. Dawson's first 3 is right there. The senior from Worthington Christian with his first points. Nelson quickly to the other end. Little jump hook, fading is perfect. 3-2 Mount Vernon. Back to the other end, and Angel threw it away. Tried to find Williams underneath the basket. Taken away by Russell. Left side, Bartlett may have shuffled that pivot foot, but no call. Right side, Mills. Back out to Bartlett, who will reset with 19 minutes to play first half. Right wing now, it's Evan Mills. Mills off a screen to the middle of the floor. Goes left wing to Trey Vaughn, OCU's leading scorer at 17 a game. His first shot near the free throw line is perfect. So the first points for the junior from Uniontown, Ohio. Played 2 years at Ohio Valley University down near Parkersburg, West Virginia. Zeltman picked up by Mills, double pumped, put it on the rim, no good. Angel got an offensive rebound. Left side, it is Dawson and James Nelson and Caleb Williams battling, and they're going to get a foul on big James Nelson. Nelson, I don't want to say allowed, but from my vantage point, I've got to use that word, allowed Williams to seal him inside that block, and big James at that point was fighting for his life. Tony Stockman saying maybe one a little elbow by Williams, kind of cleared out and created some of that space. Inbound to Williams, and Nelson very nearly could have picked up his second foul. Instead, it's a great block. Left side, Vaughn for three, got it. Credit Wesley Russell for knowing where the shooter was. Got into a gap and set up Vaughn nicely on that left wing. 7-3, OCU, 18:05 to play here in the first half. Tuesday Night Hoops presented by the Circleville Subways. Right side, Angels three, in and out. Nelson a defensive rebound. Quick outlet to Russell. Russell looking to run. Trailblazers want to get out. Mount Vernon wants to slow it down, and a foul as Trey Vaughn tried to work on that left baseline. Foul is going to be charged to Mark Lieberman. It's his first, team first. Yeah, comparing these two teams, OCU 80 a game, Mount Vernon 66. Tempo is going to be huge in this one. Trailblazers want to get out and run, as Tony Stockman put it. Mount Vernon wants to get this and slow it down as much as possible, as Caleb Williams just blocked a shot from James Nelson near the right block, taken away by the Cougars. Right side, it's Angel. Still on that right side, it's Williams. Out to Dawson, the Mount Vernon point guard, who tried to go right wing, and Wesley Russell took it away, but had a foot on the sideline after he did so, and referee Lawrence Walden right on top of that call here at the 17:29 mark in the first half. Rick Cooper and the OCU Trailblazer Basketball Network. It is great to have you with us, and not much else you can be doing on a night like this in Columbus. Stick with us and enjoy what should be a great game. There's a steal by Nelson. Again, spotting up the shooter Vaughn. This one too strong. Rebound taken away by Mount Vernon, but Lieberman in his pocket, picked by Russell. Russell into the lane, offensive foul. Caleb Williams was there to meet him. Wesley doesn't like the call. Tony Stockman is off the bench as well at the 17-13 mark of the first half. It's 7-3. Offensive foul is going to give it back to Mount Vernon. Across the timeline, it's Dawson to the left wing and Caleb Williams. Straight away, it's Zeltman out of the right forecourt, and Dawson picks up his dribble, looking for the shooter Lieberman. Thought about a three, instead puts it on the floor to Angel. Back to Dawson, right side. Picked up tightly by Bartlett. Left baseline, intercepted by Mills, but he had a foot on the sideline. He had... Now the minute stripe's going to talk about it. The two umpires, Adrian Lawrence and John Tipton, going to talk about it. And
you know what was on the shot clock?
And they're going to, it's a shot clock issue. Mills had possession, went out of bounds in front of the OCU bench, and then came back in and was the first guy to touch the basketball. And you can't do that. 16:46 to play. So it'll be Mount Vernon's basketball. And they're going to put 10 on the shot clock. So the issue here, maybe they're going to say Mills never actually had possession. That's why we never had a reset. Right wing, it's Jason Dawson. Dawson off a screen, Dawson to the rim, put it up, no, and it is going to be a blocking foul. OCU fans not happy as Evan Mills was there to try to draw the charge, and John Tipton didn't see it that way. First on Mills and the fourth on the team, and Jason Dawson, the senior from Columbus, Ohio, a 63% free throw shooter, will go to the line and get 2. First free throw is up and in and out. Mount Vernon shoots free throws at a 70% clip. OCU shooting them at 64% coming in. Jason Dawson, again, an interesting story. 3 years as an NCAA Division I player. And one of the things he told Matt Moore is, I want my mom to be able to come see me play. Wanted family to be close to him as he finished up his collegiate career this year. Split a pair, shot by Mills, no good. Nelson, an offensive rebound, and again, a nice little move around the rim as he went to the right hand and dropped it in. It's 9-4 OCU, 16-18 to play here in an entertaining first half. OCU by 5, and there's a turnover as Jason Dawson tried to hit Zeltman near that right block, and it went right through Zeltman's hands, out of bounds. Turnover back to the Trailblazers. Lieberman will sit down. Here is Xavier Holland. OCU has not seen Holland, as we said, out with a pulled hamstring in that November 3rd meeting. So we'll see what he can give. Matt Moore here playing at about 85% is Xavier Holland. So 2 D1 recruits, players, caliber kind of players out there right now for the team wearing blue. Left wing, it's Russell. Little stop and start into the rim. Had his shot blocked there by Zach Zeltman. It's a 3-on-1 break. Dawson into the lane. Got his shot blocked by Bartlett. Put it up again. Blocked away. And what are they going to call? A 3rd try. I think they're going to get a foul on Evan Bartlett after he blocked the 2nd attempt. And they're going to call a hold, is going to be the call from John Tipton. It's number 2 on Evan Bartlett, number 5 on the team. Devin Benson in for OCU. James Nelson sits down with 4. And Jimmy Horton, the pride of East Tech High School in Cleveland, checks in. Horton averages 2.6. Benson averages 7.5. Quick inbound to Angel. His runner no good. And Jimmy Horton, the defensive rebound. Horton to Russell, quickly in transition. Trey Vaughn, right-handed reverse. He put it in. 7 for Trey Vaughn. It's 11-4 OCU. 15:23 to play first half. Julian Henderson going to check in for Mount Vernon at the next dead ball. Lieberman quickly back to the table as well. Runner in the lane by Xavier Holland, no good. Angel, an offensive rebound. Back out to Holland, out of the left wing, and Dawson thought about going right towards the screen and instead tried to take it himself, and they're going to get an illegal screen on Caleb Williams. That's unnecessary. He didn't even choose to go Williams' way. Went opposite the screen, which sometimes you can catch a defender doing that, and instead a blocking foul, an illegal screen called on junior Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams' younger brother on this team as well. We'll see him a little bit later on. Troy Williams, the freshman from New Bremen. 14:50 to play first half. Benson for 3. Front of the rim, no good. Rebound taken away by Mount Vernon. Williams to the other end. Benson fouled him hard. And he'll shoot 2. Foul on Benson is his first, team 6th. Caleb Williams a little shaken up as he gets back to his feet, and will go to the free throw line where he is a 79% free throw shooter. 3rd best on this Mount Vernon team. First free throw is up and in. What a luxury it must be to have a big that can shoot free throws at a 79% clip. Williams hits the first. A Cougar here at the table for the shooter Williams. Second one good again. So Caleb Williams hits both. Mount Vernon now 3 of 4 at the charity stripe. And it's 11-6 OCU, 5-point advantage. 14:40 to play first half. Rick Cooper, Fairfield Digital Media from the Maxwell Leadership Center here on the campus of Ohio Christian University. Trey Vaughn looking for Russell on that right side. Picked up there by Julian Henderson, the freshman that has checked in from Columbus, Ohio, averaging just under 7 points and 4 rebounds. Vaughn spotting left baseline on the rim, no good. Horton tipped it up in midair. Benson tipped it up and finished it. Jimmy Horton may not have finished it, but he kept it alive for the big fella, Devin Benson, who came in with a right-handed tip. And OCU's lead is back up to 7. It's 13-6 underneath. Lost it out of bounds. Did Malcolm Pittman, the freshman from Huber Heights that has checked in. Pittman played at Wayne High School, same school that produced Braxton Miller, the all-everything Ohio State quarterback. 13:50 to play in the half, 13-6. OCU by 7. Russell, top of the key. Now left side, it's Trayvon Crater who's checked in. A little bit too strong. Benson had another tip, but could not put it in. It goes out of bounds off of Benson and Crater, and it'll go back to Mount Vernon, but Tony Stockman applauds the effort of Crater and Benson crashing the backboards. OCU out-rebounded UC Claremont on Friday night, which is monumental, and they did it without Devin Benson. Had 16 offensive rebounds in that win on Friday night, 91-54. They were +8 overall in rebounds as Lieberman tried to go right wing to left block to Xavier Holland, and that pass deflected out of bounds. It'll stay with the Cougars, 13:24 to play in the half. OCU by 7, 13-6. Dawson set to inbound underneath his own basket. Does so left baseline to Lieberman. Top of the key, just left of center. It's Pittman off the screen. Dawson fading for 3. Front of the rim, no good. And Wesley Russell missed an assignment there. Offensive rebound, Henderson. Back out to Holland. Top of the key, Lieberman, who tried to penetrate. And Crater slapped it loose from behind. It'll stay with the Cougars, 13:08 to play opening half. OCU still by 7, it's 13-6. Caleb Williams back in. Jason Dawson gets his first breather at the 13:08 mark, and Milan Kostov takes his shooting shirt off. He will make his first appearance. The senior from Champol, Bulgaria, second year with OCU, played a couple years at Temple Baptist down in Cincinnati, now Ohio Midwestern College. Wesley Russell sits down. Trey Vaughn sits down as well as Evan Mills is back in for him. Mills returns scoreless. Russell sits scoreless. Trey Vaughn sits with 7. Benson really getting after it against Caleb Williams. Dropped underneath to Pittman. Pittman back to the basket underneath to Williams, and they're going to get a foul on either Benson or Crater. I think they're going to charge it to Benson, who kind of tripped up Caleb Williams. May have been inadvertent, but it's still a foul. And it is number 2 on the freshman from Mansfield, Devin Benson. And just as important, it's number 7 on the team. And so Caleb Williams going to shoot the 1-and-1. And I think Tony Stockman just saw the scoreboard that said 17 fouls to only 2. Free throw no good, but Pittman got an offensive rebound and he put it in. 12:45 to play first half. Trailblazers by 5, 13-8. Left wing, that's Evan Mills. There's Kostov around the horn to Crater. Crater into the lane, setting up Mills. 3-ball, got it! Evan Mills, first points for the sophomore from Columbus. Underneath, it's Pittman against Mills. Right side, Williams tried to force one up and hit the side of the backboard, and what? We got a reset. That ball never hit the rim, and so the umpire, John Tipton, stops play and says we need to go back to where that was when Caleb Williams shot that basketball.
Hold the ball, hold the ball.
25 is what John Tipton settles on. 12:19 to play. First half. Quick inbound to Williams, fading from 10 feet. It's right there. You can just sense Caleb Williams knows that Benson's got 2 fouls. The big fella averages nearly 16 a game. He's intelligent and going to try to make Benson pay. You know, Devin got to get a little bit tentative with those 2 fouls and 12 minutes to play first half. Left side, it's Kostov. Kostov back out to Horton. Horton between the circles. Back left wing, Nealon, 3-ball, got it! Milan Kostov in the books with his first points. OCU 19-10, 9-point advantage. 11:35 to play in the half. Good double there by Benson as he helped out on the screen. Underneath Williams. Williams turnaround no good. Offensive rebound by Pittman. Pittman little jump hook no good. Williams a tip no good. Pittman again no good. Rebound Evan Mills and a loose ball foul. Called on Mount Vernon. Take your pick. Caleb Williams in there. Pittman in there, and they're going to charge the foul to Malcolm Pittman. His first, team third. 11:22 to play. Trailblazers 19, Mount Vernon 10. Jimmy Horton with it for OCU. Top of the key, it's Kostov, picked up tightly there by Julian Henderson. Back out to Crater, who's picked up by Caleb Williams on a switch underneath Benson. Nice step through, but he kind of heaved it at the rim. Made a nice move, and I guess you give Caleb Williams credit there too, as Williams still played pretty good D through that step through, and I think Benson panicked a little bit and kind of just threw it up at the rim. James Nelson going to check back in for OCU. He returns with 4. Benson sits with 2. A lineup on the floor right now for the Trailblazers. Milan Kostov, Evan Mills, Wesley Russell, James Nelson, and Jimmy Horton Jr. Right side, Xavier Holland, and they're going to give it to OCU. No, here we go. John Tipton initially gestured OCU basketball, then said, my bad. We're staying here. I just pointed the wrong way. It's Christmas time. We'll give him a little bit of grace. If he does it in the second half, it'll be totally different. Just kidding. 10:40 to play in the half. Top of the key, it's Malcolm Pittman. Hands it off here to Holland. Holland into the lane, dumped it off nicely to Williams. His jump hook is perfect. Beautiful play there. Give Williams credit too for finding a gap. Left side 3, no good. Russell up high, offensive rebound and put back. 21-12 OCU. Dawson is at the table for the Cougars. He'll check in at the next dead ball. Holland threw it away, intercepted by Russell. Russell to the other end, he put it up in, and he was fouled. Score the basket for Wesley Russell. The foul is on Julian Henderson. Points 3 and 4 for Russell. It is 23-12 OCU. This is an 11-point game with a chance to make it 12. Here comes Dawson. Xavier Holland will sit down. Dawson is back in with 4. Holland sits down scoreless. So we had heard so much about Holland, but kind of just held the fort minutes here early. Didn't hurt the team, didn't necessarily help him either. Free throw is up and in for Wesley Russell. Give him 5, and it's 24-12. OCU is doubled up. Mount Vernon Nazarene, they lead by 12. Right side, it's Pittman. Williams around the horn of the left wing. It's Dawson into the lane. Williams shot no good, but Pittman there again at 6'7" to clean up the trash and put it in. He's got 2 field goals and 4 points. It's 24-14 OCU. Tuesday Night Hoops presented by Subway. The Circleville Subways want to thank Jonna Thompson and the rest of her team for being a premier sponsor of OCU athletics, and lost off the foot of Dawson. It'll stay with OCU. December is Customer Appreciation Month at the Circleville Subways. All month long you can enjoy a cold cut combo or the meatball sub, the 6-inch version, for only $2. Again, as part of Customer Appreciation Month, all month long for only $2. 24-14, 9:28 to play in the opening half. Rick Cooper and the Trailblazer Basketball Network. OCU hoping to improve to 6-2. Mount Vernon trying to end a 4-game losing streak as Russell misses from up close. Cougars with the rebound. Between the circles, it's Lieberman to Williams, and Williams threw it away. Was looking for Pittman, but Pittman hadn't sealed yet. He threw it a little bit too early, intercepted. Mills, 3-ball, right side, no good. Nelson came in crashing, but it caromed away from Nelson and into the hands of Caleb Williams. Under 9 minutes to play opening half. 24-14. OCU by 10. Trey Vaughn at the table. Evan Bartlett coming to the table as well. They'll check in at the next dead ball. Dawson left side. Cross court to Angel. Shot clock is at a dozen. Angel got the step into the lane, and they're going to get a reach in. Kostoff was there. Mills was there. And they're going to call the foul on Jimmy Horton. So I guess take your pick. It's number 1 on Jimmy Horton. It's number 8 on the team. And so we'll shoot the 1-and-1. Coming up here, will Mount Vernon. Matt Angel has had a difficult year. Father was the longtime principal at Worthington Christian High School. He passed away about a month ago. So has decided to stick with the team through that situation, and obviously our thoughts and prayers go out to that young man and his family. Father had been battling a brain tumor for several years, and again, passed away about a month ago, back in October, I guess, month and a half. Nelson underneath, put it up and in. 6 points for James Nelson, 26-16. Right side, Pittman to the rim, he dropped it in. Third field goal of the game for Malcolm Pittman off Matt Moore's bench. Moore plays 11 guys. He doesn't get a whole ton of scoring off the bench. James Nelson just shuffled his feet, turnover back to Mount Vernon. Here comes number 40, Joe Collier, 6'6" sophomore from Canal Winchester that played well on Friday night. Again, didn't do anything spectacular, but for a guy like Collier to just come in, hold the fort, play good D, rebound, had a couple tips at the rim, I think scored a bucket or two, but again, he's not looking for spectacular. Left side, Angel, no good, and there's Collier with a rebound, but he had it taken away. Pittman lost it himself, was going to try an interior pass. Lost it, Russell ended up with it, and Jason Dawson committed a foul. Smart foul by Dawson as OCU looked like they had a pretty decisive advantage out in transition, and that's one way to stop a transition bucket, transition opportunity. It's to foul, and with only 3 team fouls at that point, it's an even wiser decision. So for Dawson, it's his first, now the team's 4th. 7:35 to play opening half, 26-18. Right side, it's Evan Bartlett, now top of the key. Bartlett threw it away, was looking underneath for Nelson, deflected, ended up in the hands of Malcolm Pittman. Pittman to Dawson. Dawson right side, double team, looking right baseline for Zeltman. Cross court, Lieberman made the extra pass to Angel. Back to Zeltman. The southpaw's 12-footer came up short. Rebound, Trey Vaughn. Vaughn to Russell. Vaughn fading to the right side. Thought about a 3, instead to the rim. Double pump, no good. Ball out of bounds off Dawson. It'll stay with OCU. 7:05 to play opening half. Caleb Williams back in, Xavier Holland back in. Lieberman sits down, as does, I believe, it was Pittman that had a seat as well. 26-18, good minutes again out of Pittman. 3 field goals, 6 points. Nelson just hit another 3. That's 3 threes in the last 2 games for Big James Nelson. I asked Tony Stockman, does he have the green light to shoot those? And Tony said at times, but he shoots them very, very well in practice, according to Stockman, and is starting to really become a factor as Zeltman threw it away. That's a tough pass, top of the key, a bounce pass to one of the blocks. The better decision is to go to the wing with the pass and then make the easy one from left wing to left block. They tried to do the difficult, and it leads to a turnover back to OCU. 6:30 to play in the half. Halftime show coming up. Look at the first half numbers and recap what has transpired and much more. Russell into the lane, left his feet, and fortunate that it went out of bounds off of Mount Vernon as he tried to get it to Nelson. With 6:22 to play opening half, Bartlett will inbound. Out there with Trey Vaughn, Joe Collier, James Nelson, and Wesley Russell. Nelson, right side, he sets up the 3 by Bartlett that's no good, and the rebound taken away by Zach Zeltman. As we said, a senior, one of only 2 seniors, but 8 of Matt Moore's top 12 are freshmen and sophomores, including 8 true freshmen. Top of the key, Dawson double teamed. Goes left wing to Xavier Holland. Back to Dawson. A long three is right there. Kind of shoots it very casually. You're waiting for him to raise up and elevate, and he shoots it more from the hip and with not much elevation, and before you know it, he's just tripled in your eye. 29-21, 5:38 to play in the half. On to Russell. And what? Are we going to get an illegal screen? Something away from the basketball. Maybe a hold on Xavier Holland, and it is going to be the call as James Nelson tried to set a screen on Holland to free up one of the Trailblazers on the opposite side of the basketball. 5:33 to play, opening half, 29-21. OCU by 8. Evan Bartlett will inbound near the Mount Vernon bench. Bartlett out to Russell, so we get a look at Bartlett and Russell together. Right side, it's Bartlett, cross court to the baseline and Collier. 5:20 to play opening half, 23 on the shot clock. Left forecourt, it's Russell working against Zeltman. This little stop and start, 15 feet away, no good. Dawson the rebound. Cougars like to run occasionally. They want to run here. Little scoop shot by Dawson is no good. Ends up in the hands of Angel. His 10-footer hits the front of the rim and dropped in. 29-23, and there's a pass from Wesley Russell. Intercepted, right side. Dawson for three, no good. Angel going to get called for a loose ball foul as he tried to grab that offensive rebound. Foul on Angel is his first, team 6. Good box out there by Evan Bartlett. I'm not sure Angel committed a foul there. Looked like he just made a play on the basketball, but what earned Evan Bartlett that call was the fact that he put a butt in the gut, and it made it an easy call for Adrian Lawrence to make. Bartlett to the other end, front end of the 1-and-1 is too strong, but Benson an offensive rebound, but could do nothing with it. 29-23, Mount Vernon an opportunity to cut it to 5 and maybe 4 here. Trailblazers led by as many as 12, 24-12. Williams setting up Dawson, right side 3 again. So Jason Dawson with a 3, and he has made this a one-possession game. 29-26, 4:27 to play here in the opening half, and gives us an opportunity during this 30-second timeout to tell you that Tuesday Night Hoops are presented by the Circleville Subway. December is Customer Appreciation Month at all Circleville Subways. Both the 6-inch cold cut combo and the 6-inch meatball sub are only $2 all December long. Subway, eat fresh. 29-26, Trailblazers lead has evaporated down to 3 after a 3 there by Jason Dawson, who now has 3 threes in this first half, 10 points in the game, and the momentum beginning to shift a little bit in this building. Trailblazers need to finish strong here in the final 4 minutes and change of this first half. Left side, it's Evan Mills. Back out to Wesley Russell. Russell with the right hand of the right wing. Off a screen from Nelson. Again, Williams does a nice job on that screen. Forces Russell well behind the three-point line. Devon back to Russell with 10 on the shot clock. His jumper is no good. And the rebound battled around and banged around and ends up in the hands of Xavier Holland. Holland picked up by Bartlett, who's playing with 2 fouls. Left wing, it's Angel. Now right side, Williams to the basket. Spun it up onto the rim, but could not finish. Rebound, Evan Mills. Vaughn quickly left side into the lane, and a foul going to be called. Xavier Holland in the vicinity. Zach Zeltman they're going to charge Holland with the foul. It's number 2 on him. Team over the limit, it's team number 8. And so Trayvon, the 80% free throw shooter, will step to the line and shoot the 1-and-1. As we said, OCU 64% as a team coming in. Vaughn 12 of 15 for 80%. Make it 13 of 16 on the year as he hits the first. Top free throw shooter on this OCU basketball team. One more for Trayvon, bends the knees and fires, good again. 9 points for Trayvon, 31-26. 5-point advantage for OCU, 3:33 to play in the half. Williams underneath to Angel, back out left side, it's Lieberman. Lieberman to the left baseline, and Angel guarded tightly by Mills, stepped into Mills, had his shot blocked, but it ended up in Lieberman's hands, who cleaned up the trash and put it in. 31-28. Again, it's a one-possession game as we near 3 minutes to play here in the opening half. Nelson hands it off to Russell. Into the lane, double team, setting up Nelson for three, front of the rim, no. Rebound Holland, lost the basketball, and he was tripped up. May have been tripped up right before he was going to be guilty of an over and back. What a break. He was in front of that timeline, and it sure looked like, to avoid the contact from Holland, that he was going to have to take a step behind that timeline. And before he could do that, Holland tripped him up, picks up a personal foul, and it is number 3 on Xavier Holland. The 1-and-1 cannot be converted, however, by Bartlett. The rebound is taken away by Xavier Holland. They only have him for 2 on the scoreboard. 2:47 to play as Dawson got free and just tripled again. I have Holland for 3. I may be off. We'll get that squared away. We're tied at 31. Mount Vernon a chance for the lead. Dawson to the rim. He put it in. 15 points for Jason Dawson, and it is 33-31 Mount Vernon. Matt Moore has lost the jacket on the Mount Vernon bench. Big possession here, at least a big first half possession. Trailblazers need to stop the bleeding, and they can't do it there as Evan Mills 3 no good. Nelson slapped it out of bounds. Mount Vernon an opportunity to extend the lead. Angel sits down for the Cougars. Back in is Julian Henderson. Angel sits with 4. Nelson returns scoreless. Evan Bartlett, Trayvon, Evan Mills, James Nelson, and Wesley Russell, the OCU 5 right now. Exactly 2 minutes to play in the half. Pittman with it to the right side of Lieberman. Got through the screen, Mark Price style. His runner was no good. Did a nice job getting through that screen on the pick and roll. Did Pittman, but could not finish. 33-31. Trailblazers want a tie here. Reverse layup is right there. Beautifully done by Evan Mills. Tied at 33. We had plenty of lead changes and ties in that first meeting of the year. 11 lead changes and 15 ties. Howland left-handed shot in the lane. Vaughn was there. Altered the shot just enough. Right side Vaughn. Thought about 3. Instead tried to work that right baseline, and Pittman slapped it out of bounds. 27 on the shot clock, 70 seconds to play opening half. Tuesday Night Hoops presented by the Circleville Subways. To inbound is Bartlett, right side Russell, 15 feet away, perfect. 7 for Wesley Russell, 35-33. Exactly 1 minute to play here in the opening half. Right side, it's Mark Lieberman. Lieberman to the baseline and Henderson. Henderson to Pittman, who has been a spark off Matt Moore's bench. Holland off a screen, picked up nicely by James Nelson, and it forces a turnover. Nelson to the other end, he finger rolled it and missed it. Nelson an offensive rebound, he missed it again. James lost half of his jersey, hanging off his shoulder with no call. Left side, Holland's 3, no good. Offensive rebound, put up, no good again for Mount Vernon. Again up close, no good. Out of bounds off Mount Vernon, back to OCU. Nelson was going to throw that thing down, and he left a little bit too early. So he went to the finger roll and came up short, and it was the putback that Nelson was upset about, was frustrated with himself on the initial miss, but thought there was some contact on the putback that was not called. Trailblazers lead is 2. Shot clock is off. 10 seconds to play in the half. Single digits now. Down to 7, down to 6, down to 5. Russell to the rim, in and out. Rebound, Caleb Williams. 2 seconds left. It'll count if it goes. But it comes up a little bit short. It comes up a little bit wide right. And 20 entertaining minutes of basketball in the books here in the Maxwell Leadership Center, where OCU leads Mount Vernon 35-33. Coming up, the halftime show. We'll give you a look at the first half numbers. We'll recap what has transpired and much more. It's Tuesday Night Hoops, presented by the Circleville Subway. OCU 35, Mount Vernon 33. This is the Ohio Christian University Trailblazer Basketball Network.
As we enter these last days, we must train this generation now.
That God wants us to be real in this day.
I am a strong supporter of Christian education. Challenge the mind.
Our future depends upon Christian higher education.
Biblical values.
The future.
As the campus continues to grow,
New buildings and a record enrollment.
Good, sound Christian leaders.
Building a place that is making a difference in the lives of students.
business leaders, educators.
And he's trying to raise a generation of men and women who will stand and say, I will be counted for Christ. No game playing anymore.
Because the next generation is going to affect our world today.
A world needs to hear that Jesus Christ is the hope.
Back here in the Maxwell Leadership Center, we're at halftime as we have some youngsters out here providing the halftime entertainment. Maybe we can get a shot of that, fellas, if we've got a cameraman. These guys working hard. You don't need to see me. You need to see the future Trailblazers out here. Probably, third and fourth grade guys. Got a guy over here that looks like Kurt Rambis. Got the sport goggles going, and anyway, some good basketball out on the floor right now, and a good first half as well. Trailblazers lead 35-33. They led 24-12 in this game, so a 21-11 run by Mount Vernon to end that first half has cut the lead down to 2. We were tied late in that first half. Trailblazers again 35-33. We had 11 ties, 15 lead changes in that earlier meeting on November the 3rd, and it looks like we're headed for the same kind of outcome here today. Let's take a look at scoring numbers in this one. First of all, for Mount Vernon, 15 of their 33 scored by Jason Dawson, their leading scorer, who comes in averaging 17 a game. 6 apiece for Malcolm Pittman and Caleb Williams. Pittman scored those 6 off the bench, so a nice boost for a guy that has only averaged 2.4 points coming in. 2 tonight. Matt Angel, the starting small forward, had 4 points, and Mark Lieberman, the starting 2-guard, had a single field goal in that first half. Mount Vernon, 5 of 7 from the charity stripe for 71%. For OCU, it was the combo of James Nelson and Trey Vaughn, 9 points apiece to lead OCU. 7 for the 2-guard Wesley Russell, 5 for Evan Mills, 3 points for Milan Kostov, and 2 for Devin Benson. The Trailblazers shot 3 of 4 from the charity stripe in that first half for 75%. So again, it is Nelson and Vaughn recapping the leading scorers with 9 points apiece, and Mount Vernon led by Jason Dawson, 15 of their 33. In terms of foul trouble, it is Xavier Holland with 2, not 3. I had him for a 3rd foul that should have been charged to Zach Zeltman. So Xavier Holland, the only guy with 2 fouls for Mount Vernon, and it is Devin Benson and Evan Bartlett, the only Trailblazers in any kind of foul trouble, as both players have 2 personal fouls apiece. Tuesday Night Hoops presented by the Circleville Subways. December is Customer Appreciation Month at all Circleville Subways. Both the 6-inch cold cut combo and the 6-inch meatball sub are only $2 all December long. Subway, eat fresh. We're at halftime here in the Maxwell Leadership Center. OCU leads 35-33. Back with more of the halftime show after this timeout here on the OCU Trailblazer Basketball Network.
I knew that attending Ohio Christian University
would prepare me for whatever lies ahead.
What I didn't know is how I would pay for my education.
I wondered how complex the process was and if I would be eligible to receive financial aid.
Well, that's when I found the OCU Financial Aid website.
At Ohio Christian, the process is simple.
The OCU Financial Aid website provided me with the information I needed to start and complete the process. I learned how to fill out my free application for federal student aid. Soon after completing my FAFSA, an Ohio Christian Financial Aid counselor determined which aid was available for me and answered all my questions about my options.
Options like grants and work study,
student loans and scholarships.
An Ohio Christian University education is within my reach.
If you are concerned about finances, as I used to be, I encourage you to take the next step.
fill out your FAFSA today.
For assistance, call Ohio Christian University at 1-877-7-OCU-NOW or visit us at ohiochristian.edu.
Back here in the Maxwell Leadership Center, we're at halftime. The halftime entertainment continues on as some youngsters from the Logan Elm area out here playing some basketball again. Probably look like, second, third, and fourth graders and future Trailblazers, we hope. 35-33 is our halftime scores. Again, the Trailblazers led 24-12. They had doubled up Mount Vernon, and Mount Vernon answered with a 21-11 run late in that first half to make this a basketball game. It's 35-33. Jason Dawson, really the big reason why. He got hot from outside. Dawson finished with 15 points in that first half. 4 threes, 1, 2, and a free throw. In terms of some of the other numbers that may interest you in this first half, Mount Vernon with a 23-16 advantage in terms of rebounding. Trailblazers, boy, these stats are incomplete. 14 of 36. Let me punch my numbers right in front of you on TV. OCU, 39% from the field. They finished 4 of 11 on threes in that first half for 36%. And as we said, 3 of 4 from the charity stripe for 75%. Leading rebounders for OCU in that first half, Evan Mills and James Nelson both had 3 rebounds apiece. Wesley Russell dished out a team-high 3 assists. Leading shot blocker, Evan Bartlett, the point guard, getting it done. He and James Nelson tie with team-high honors in that, 2 blocks apiece. And James Nelson at 6'8", had the team-high with 3 steals. Some individual numbers, Mills 2 of 6 shooting, Nelson 4 of 8, Trayvon 3 of 6, Russell was 3 of 8, and Evan Bartlett missed his only field goal attempt. He is the only OCU starter that has not scored to this point. If you're hungry right now, try Domino's Handmade Pan Pizza with 2 layers of cheese, toppings to the edge, and a crust made from fresh dough. A medium 2-topping pan pizza is only $7.99 at Domino's Pizza, 207 Lancaster Pike in Circleville. Call 740-477-2541. Domino's Pizza is the exclusive pizza of Ohio Christian University Athletics. Halftime here in the Leadership Center, OCU 35, Mount Vernon 33, 20 minutes away from the first ever win against the Cougars. Mount Vernon currently leads that series 10-0. Trailblazers hoping to change it. Second half action is coming up next here on the OCU Trailblazer Basketball Network.
One of the slogans that we came up with was "We're number 2," and that was one that seemed to take a hold because everybody would ask, "What are you saying you're number 2 for? You know, what are you number 2 about? You know, don't you want to win?" And of course we wanted to win. We wanted to be the best we could be, but we were number 2 because Jesus Christ was number 1, and that's how we started.
the Lord has blessed all of us, and it's a time that you can't forget. It's the 4 years of your life that you'll always have memories of.
So we knew we could do it, but we finally did it, and we made it.
From Ohio Christian University, it's the Trailblazer Basketball Network. The OCU Trailblazer Basketball Network, brought to you in part by
Domino's Pizza of Circleville, located on Lancaster Pike, 740-477-2541. 740-477-2541.
Circleville Subway is a proud sponsor of the OCU Trailblazers Basketball Network. Subway, eat fresh.
Service Master Clean by Todd George. They will help you get clean and stay that way at work and at home. 740-687-1077. Fairfield Christian Academy has a K-12 program that's committed to molding young minds to have a Christian worldview while providing an education of excellence. Learn more at fairfieldchristianacademy.com.
Thank you for watching the Trailblazer Basketball Network.
When you throw away money on wasted electricity, you're throwing away everything you could have bought with it. Saving energy saves you money. Learn more at energysavers.gov.
Ohio Christian University offers accredited, career-focused undergraduate and graduate degree programs for busy adults. Classes are convenient, offered online or evenings and weekends at our 12 locations. OCU will prepare you for your next step and help you discover your higher purpose.
We invite you to attend Ohio Christian University.
Back here in the Maxwell Leadership Center, Rick Cooper on Tuesday Night Hoops, presented by Subway. I hear Michael Blevins making the announcement in the arena. December is Customer Appreciation Month at all Subways, including the Circleville Subways. Stop by. Both the cold cut combo and 6-inch meatball sub are only $2 all December long. Again, Customer Appreciation Month. The Circleville Subways, eat fresh. It is Tuesday Night Hoops and just about set to get underway. Trailblazers have never beaten this team wearing blue tonight. They did 2 years ago with the help of a couple ineligible players, and so had to forfeit that game. It went down as a 2-0 loss, and going to try to make history tonight. They got awful close in Mount Vernon back on November the 3rd when they lost 77-75. We're ready to play basketball here in the second half. The inbound is to Evan Bartlett. We are underway here in the Leadership Center. OCU going to move right to left. Here in the second half, Trey Vaughn, right side three, no good. And Zeltman, a good box out there as he kept Evan Mills off the backboards. And Mount Vernon an opportunity to tie or maybe take the lead here. Cut into the basket, it's Lieberman setting up Dawson, another three, this one no good. And Evan Mills grabs the rebound. Quick outlet to Bartlett, he's looking to force the issue. Right side Russell, right baseline Vaughn. Vaughn takes that baseline, put it up and in. They're playing Vaughn to keep him from shooting threes. They've seen him hit a couple here in the first half. They saw him hit a bunch of them at Mount Vernon as well when Trey Vaughn had 20 points on 5 threes, and Vaughn very intelligently said, okay, I'll take the baseline instead and give you what you take what you give me. And put it up and in. 37-33. Trailblazer lead is 4. Under 19 minutes to play in the game. Right side, it's Bartlett. Nelson now with it for OCU. Big James with 9 points in the first 20 minutes. As we said, Bartlett and Benson, the two Trailblazers with 2 fouls. James' turnaround from 10 feet in the lane came up short, and the rebound taken away by Jason Dawson. Dawson on a backdoor to Lieberman. Lieberman setting up Zeltman, but he threw it at his ankles. Couldn't do anything with it. To Angel, who went to the left hand and put it in. Third field goal of the game for the junior from Columbus. He too, like Jason Dawson, played his high school basketball at Worthington Christian. He averages 5 a game. He's got 6 here early in the second half. 37-35, OCU by 2. Russell, top of the key, tried to find Nelson underneath, but big Caleb Williams was between Russell and Nelson and forced Wesley to put some air underneath it, and he put a little bit too much. Turnover as it goes out of bounds. The Cougars have it here. Opportunity again for Mount Vernon to tie, maybe take the lead. Zeltman around the horn to the right side. Dawson looking underneath for Williams. Double teamed. It sets up Lieberman for 3. On the rim, no good. Williams had it, and it's slapped out of bounds off of Williams to OCU. 17:44 to play in the game. 37-35 OCU. Again, it is a nasty night here in Central Ohio. If you're watching in other parts of the country, a cold front pushing through after some 60 to 70 degree weather the last 2 or 3 days, and bad weather. Right side 3 never got there by Mills, and the rebound taken away by Angel. John Timpton, one of our referees who's been doing it for about 30 years, said it's the worst weather he's ever seen. Traveled through. He came up from the Portsmouth area. The other 2 referees, Columbus guys, but Tipton got a call this morning, was a late addition. One of the referees couldn't make the trip. They called Tipton at about 8 a.m. this morning, and that hour-and-a-half trip up from Portsmouth said was the nastiest he's ever experienced. So be careful driving tonight. Top of the key, it's Trey Vaughn. Vaughn, little runner left side, nicely done. Zeltman was there to contest. Give Vaughn credit for elevating, extending, and releasing that shot over the extended arm of Zach Zeltman. 39-35, Angel on that left baseline, looking for Lieberman backdoor. Instead to Zeltman to the right side, and Dawson. Dawson double team. Lob underneath to Angel. They're going to get a push off. Trey Vaughn was fronting at that right block. They tried to lob it over Vaughn, and Angel wanted to make sure that pass was going to get there. A little shove in the back of Trey Vaughn that the men in stripes were right on top of, and it will go back to OCU. Trailblazers by 4, 39-35, nearing 16.5 minutes to play in the game. Right side, Bartlett, his runner no good. Nelson caught it. I thought he was going to tip Duncan. Brought it down, double teamed. Picks up his dribble and looking for Trey Vaughn, looking for some assistance, and he gets it. 25 on the shot clock, 16-13 to play in the game. Wesley Russell right in front of us. Now between the circles, now to the lane. Put it off high off the glass. A little bit too strong, and rebound Williams. Williams to Dawson, who's looking to run. Zeltman threw it down with 2 hands. Dawson found him all alone in transition. It's the first points of the game for 6'5" senior Zach Zeltman, a 3-year player. Unique story, ambidextrous, plays lefty on the outside, but shoots it right-handed in the paint. How many guys have you ever heard do that? Lefty on the outside with jumpers, but right-handed on the inside. Crossover by Russell, left baseline, Bartlett, spotting for 3, no good, and Dawson comes down. Everybody rebounding for the team wearing blue. It's 39-37 OCU. 3 here for Angel would give the Cougars the lead. It comes up short. Williams an offensive rebound. He'll bring it back out to Lieberman. Left side, Zeltman, they want a touch for Angel, and what? Matt Moore is going to call a 30-second timeout. Looks like they're trying to exploit Trey Vaughn a little bit. They've got Matt Angel at 6'4", and they're going to try to post him up a little bit against the smaller 6-foot Trey Vaughn. Domino's handmade handmade pan pizza is made with 2 layers of cheese, toppings to the edge, and a crust made from fresh dough. A medium 2-topping pan pizza is only $7.99 at Domino's Pizza, 207 Lancaster Pike in Circleville. Call 740-477-2541. Domino's Pizza is the exclusive pizza of Ohio Christian University Athletics. 15-10 to play in the game, 39-37. There's their logo. Thank you, JT Burcham and the rest of the Fairfield Digital Media team. It is a full crew that takes to put on a production like this. There's guys with cameras everywhere in this facility, and they do a fantastic job. First year we've done video broadcasts, and I hope we can work with the crew from Fairfield Digital Media for about the next 20 years. 39-37, right side Zeltman, thought about a 3 instead to Lieberman. Around the horn to Henderson, who's checked in, setting up Dawson. His 3 hit the side of the backboard, but it caromed advantageously, if you're a Cougar fan, right into the hands of Henderson. And again, I've got to use the phrase cleaned up the trash, because I don't know how you describe it any better when it hits the side of the backboard. And it ends up leading to 2 points. We are tied at 39, 14:30 to play. Nelson make that Crater work in the baseline, missed it, got it back, little jump hook is right there. The freshman from St. Vincent St. Mary, Trayvon Crater, in the books with his first 2. It's 41-39, OCU back on top by 2, 14-13 to play in the game. Zeltman free throw line extended, left side it's Williams. Dawson little shake and bake, trying to get in the lane, and Crater came over and helped him, picked his pocket. Jimmy Horton to the rim at the other end, could not finish. Rebound Mount Vernon, it's a 3-on-3 break. Lieberman into the lane, put it up, no, but he apparently was fouled. OCU fans don't like it, Mount Vernon fans applaud. Going to charge the foul to Trey Vaughn. It's his first, team's first here in the second half. 13:53 to play in the game, 41-39, OCU by 2. Couple free throws from Mark Lieberman here would give Mount Vernon an opportunity to tie, and the first one is right there. Sub at the table for Lieberman, I believe it's Xavier Holland. Here comes Devin Benson. He'll check back in with 2 points and 2 fouls. James Nelson sits down with 9 points and a personal foul. 41-40, chance for the freshman from Lebanon, Ohio. We told you in the pregame as he puts it in. 4 points for Lieberman, played his prep ball at Dayton Christian. Holland does check in as Lieberman sits down. Lieberman committed in November of his junior year. Which, talking to Matt Moore, he said, guys just don't do that. They see what the best offer is out there. They wait as long as they possibly can. It's how badly Lieberman wanted to play at Mount Vernon. He said, I'm not wasting any time. I'm not missing this opportunity, and he signed early in his junior year. Lane, the end of the lane, Jimmy Horton, shot no good, but he was fouled and will shoot 2. Foul is going to be charged to 32, Julian Henderson, the freshman from Columbus, his second, team second. And the free throws coming up here for Jimmy Horton Jr., the freshman from Cleveland. We have seen just little snippets of the athleticism of Jimmy Horton. You can tell a lot about a guy by the way he goes to the rim, especially in transition. And I saw it Friday night at Claremont. I saw it tonight earlier. Looked like Jimmy was going to try to throw one down in transition. At 6 feet, he may be the most athletic guy on this team, especially now with Kenny Cooper no longer with the program. He would have had a say in debate and discussion on that topic. Very athletic as well. Dawson on a backdoor, right side Holland. 3 ball is right there. First points of the game for the freshman from Fork Union, Virginia. Fork Union Military Academy, the same school that produced Eddie George. And a turnover as the ball goes out of bounds off Trayvon Crater. It goes back to Mount Vernon. And the Cougars lead 44-42. Here comes Wesley Russell. Zeltman will sit down for Mount Vernon. Looks like Lieberman is back in for him. Evan Mills will sit down for OCU as well. Lineup on the floor for the Trailblazers: Russell, Benson, Horton, Vaughn, and Crater. Vaughn will pick up Holland here off a bone-jarring screen from Williams. Sets up Williams, 15-footer is right there. He set a big screen and then popped, did Caleb Williams. And a carry going to be called on Jimmy Horton. A stop and start on that right forecourt, and they're going to say he picked up the basketball, carried it, and it's a turnover back to Mount Vernon. Trey Vaughn will sit down at a critical juncture in this game as Milan Kostov, some big minutes here. Kostov had a 3 from the left wing in that first half. Mount Vernon with their biggest lead of this game. It's 46-42, 12:35 to play in the game. A stop and start by Dawson, who kissed it off the glass and in. Looked like he created some contact there with his offhand. They have elbowed Devin Benson, nothing called there. Benson just off that left block. Nice pass underneath on a spectacular cut from Wesley Russell. 9 points for Russell on a beautiful pass from Devin Benson. Lieberman quickly to the other end. His jumper no good. Ball goes out of bounds off OCU. It'll stay with Mount Vernon. OCU fans don't like the call, but looked like the right one from this vantage point. James Nelson back in for the Trailblazers. He returns with 9. Benson sits down with 2. 12:05 to play in the game. Xavier Holland looking to inbound for the Cougars, who set up in a box formation on that inbound. Out to Lieberman, picked up nicely by Nelson, and I don't like that call at all. And Tony Stockman looks absolutely perplexed with that call. That is a bad call against Big James Nelson, who did a great job getting out there, helping on the screen, shuffling his feet. Granted, it's only his second. It's only number 2 on the team. But it's still a bad call. 48-44, 11:57 to play in the game. Inbound to Dawson to around the horn of the right side. Holland looking underneath for 32. Henderson double pumped. Found Pittman underneath. A lot of contact. No call. Dawson right side. Holland again underneath. Left-handed shot up close by Henderson. Got his own rebound. Caught underneath the basket. He threw it away. It's taken away by Crater. Crater looking to run. It's a 4-on-3 break. Crater into the lane. Tough shot. No good. Rebound Lieberman. Tony Stockman applauding the effort there. 48-44, Mount Vernon, their biggest lead of the game. Into the lane, Dawson looked like he was going to try to flush that at 6 foot with James Nelson lingering. And I think it's Big James that they're going to get the foul on, and Dawson going to go to the rim and shoot 2. It is going to be called on James, so that foul a minute ago, and I said, oh, it's only number 2. Well, now Big James with number 3 at the 11:21 mark of this second half. And Jason Dawson, working on a 17-point night, will step to the free throw line and shoot 2. A 63% free throw shooter. First one is too strong. Mount Vernon 7 of 10 from the charity stripe in this one for 70%. They lead 48-44. Cougars in the midst of a 4-game losing streak, already 0-3 in Crossroads League play. They would drop under 500 for the first time in the year with a loss as Dawson misses a pair. 48-44, Trailblazers have a chance to cut this to a 1-possession game as we near 11 minutes to play in the game. It's Tuesday Night Hoops, presented by the Circleville Subways, and away from the basketball, all the way underneath by the left block, I think they got Julian Henderson doing something illegal against Milan Kostov, some kind of forearm shiver, something you'd see Roddy Piper do back in the day. Unfortunately, you can't do that on the basketball court. It's number 3 on Julian Henderson. It's 3rd on him, 3rd on the team, non-shooting foul, so OCU will inbound. They do so to the right baseline, and Milan Kostov. Kostov will get it back out to the point guard, Wesley Russell, who will set things up with exactly 11 minutes to play. Left side, Crater nearly lost it. Lieberman overplayed. Nice no-look pass, and Nelson finished with 2 hands. Crater went into the lane, and a beautiful no-look pass. Take it strong, big fella. 48-46, and Jimmy Horton with a hand check at the other end. Who cares? That's number 2 on Horton. Crater, after Lieberman overplayed, got the step into the lane and a behind-the-neck, no-look pass to Nelson, who whammed it home with two hands. 48-46, OCU within two. That gets the crowd fired up a little bit. Cross-court pass, Angel wide open three, no good. Nelson had it. They're going to get a loose ball foul on Julian Henderson, and according to my spreadsheet, that is number 4. Fourth on Henderson. That is, and the fourth on the team. Zach Zeltman into the game for Mount Vernon. Henderson will sit down with 2 points and 4 fouls. Zeltman returns with 2 points and a foul. 10:30 to play in the game. Trailblazers could tie or take the lead here, 48-46. Left side, it's Milan Kostov. Kostov, little shake and bake, ripped it through, went to the rim but could not finish. Crater an offensive rebound to Holland. Nelson just off that right block. Here's Crater for three. Came up short, rebound into the hands of Russell, into the lead. He put it in and he was fouled. Somebody got him on the arm and Russell put it in anyway. Score the basket for Wesley Russell. He has tied this game. The foul, it looks like it's going to be charged on Pittman. It is. Number 2, Malcolm Pittman. It's his second, team 5th. Caleb Williams back in. Pittman sits down. Wesley Russell points 10 and 11. An opportunity here for the Trailblazers to take the lead. 10:07 to play in the game. Tied at 48. Russell. Free throw is good. Trailblazers lead. Russell with a dozen. 49-48, 10:06 to play in the game. Crater going to work on Dawson here. Matt Moore wants a full timeout. Exactly 10 minutes to play. Mount Vernon will have a basketball coming out of this full timeout. It's Tuesday Night Hoops presented by the Circleville Subways. OCU 49, Mount Vernon 48. This is the OCU Trailblazer Basketball Network.
Basketball Network, brought to you in part by
Domino's Pizza of Circleville, located on Lancaster Pike. 740-477-2541. 740-477-2541.
Circleville Subway is a proud sponsor of the OCU Trailblazers Basketball Network. Subway, eat fresh.
Service Master Clean by Todd George. They will help you get clean and stay that way at work and at home. 740-687-1077. Fairfield Christian Academy has a K-12 program that's committed to molding young minds to have a Christian worldview while providing an education of excellence. Learn more at fairfieldchristianacademy.com.
If you're enjoying today's game, watch it again at trailblazerbasketball.tv.
49-48, Trailblazers lead. Exactly 10 minutes to play in the game as Matt Moore calls a timeout. Mount Vernon will have it coming out of this break. If you're hungry right now, try Domino's handmade pan pizza with 2 layers of cheese, toppings to the edge, and a crust made from fresh dough. A medium 2-topping pan pizza, only $7.99 at Domino's Pizza, 207 Lancaster Pike in Circleville. Call 740-477-2541. Off the inbounds, they couldn't have drawn it up any better. As Jason Dawson got free on a screen, he was all alone. He has given Mount Vernon a 50-49 lead. Kostov for 3, came up short, and Dawson the defensive rebound. 50-49 Cougars. Trayvon Crater picking up Dawson here. Crater, Nelson, Kostov, Russell, and Bartlett on the floor for OCU. To the left wing, it's Dawson. Off a screen from Williams, nothing there. He goes left wing to Angel. Angel working the baseline, dumped it off to Williams, cross court to Lieberman. Lieberman in the lane, finds Zeltman, who double pumped and put it in. Took just enough time in the air to get Russell to start decelerating, coming down. And Zeltman able to put it in. Hope that makes sense. Wesley's in the vicinity, trying to block the shot. Zeltman's got a double pump. to create just enough time in the air for Russell to no longer be a factor, and he did. Bartlett into the middle of the lane, picks up his dribble, back up, Kostoff straightaway three, left side of the iron, no good. Nice pass underneath, the tip pass from Trayvon Crater to James Nelson, who finishes. He's got 13. Beautifully done. What basketball awareness there by Trayvon Crater. If he grabs it and passes it, it may take too long for Nelson to finish. 52-51, Trailblazers within one. Williams right side, Nelson played good D straight up. Matt Moore wants a foul that was not called. Kostoff looking to run, right side Russell. Russell down the right baseline, put it on the rim, no good, rebound Zeltman. 8:10 to play, 52-51. Trailblazers within one. Donald just left of center. Donald trying to find his way through the screen, got to the rim, but lost the basketball. Kostoff uncontested to the other end for two more. Second field goal of the game for Milan Kostoff. It's given OCU a 53-52 lead. Devin Benson and Evan Mills at the table for OCU. They'll check in at the next dead ball. Angel right side, it's Caleb Williams. Williams top of the key to Lieberman, guarded tightly there by the freshman point guard Evan Bartlett. Williams wants a touch right block, nobody looking at him. Left baseline, it's Dawson. Shot clock is at 8. Dawson squares up and hits a three. That, my friends, is why you get in the triple threat position. He squared up. They had to respect the fact that he could put it on the floor, and he proceeded to raise up and hit a big, big three, and has given Mount Vernon a 55-53 advantage. Left side, it's Wesley Russell, picked up there by Lieberman. Nelson looks tired as he sets this screen, and again sets another one. Benson coming in for him, and I think that's why. There's a near steal. It frees up Russell, 7 on the clock. Goes right wing, extra pass to Kostoff into the lane, put it off the window and in. 7 points for Milan Kostoff, 55-55, and no contact, or no call, I should say, on the contact, and Angel fought through the contact and put it up and in. 8 points for Matt Angel, 57-55. It allows Benson to check in. It allows Mills to check in. Matt Moore called that 30-second timeout after the field goal by Matt Angel. Tuesday Night Hoops are presented by the Circleville Subway. December is Customer Appreciation Month at all Circleville Subways. Both the 6-inch cold cut combo and 6-inch meatball sub are only $2 all December long. Subway, eat fresh. Everybody in attendance tonight on Tuesday Night Hoops presented by Subway received a free coupon upon entering. Buy a 6-inch sub and a 30-ounce soda, and the Circleville Subways will give you a 6-inch sub free. So just another reason to come out on a Tuesday night. We'll do that all season long. Another reason to come out and cheer on the Trailblazers, maybe get picked for the on-court contest where you can win some Subway prizes, and if nothing else, you're going to leave with a coupon to get you a free 6-inch sub when you buy a 6-inch sub and a drink. Top of the key, Bartlett hands it off to Trayvon. Now to Russell with 6:23 to play. Russell straight to the rim. Some miscommunication there. That's not going to make Matt Moore happy. Fourth-year head coach. Was a pretty good basketball player himself at Grace College, and does not like the defensive effort there. It ties it at 57. Lieberman against Bartlett, and he lost it. It's going to be an over and back violation. Trying to get cute with the basketball, and Lieberman says it was touched by Evan Bartlett. It was not touched by Evan Bartlett. Matt Moore asking for an explanation as well. It was not, clearly not touched by Bartlett. It was Lieberman under the pressure. I tried to put it between his legs, and he lost it across the timeline. That is an over and back violation. Inbound to Trayvon, one dribble, looking for help. Finds Wesley Russell left forecourt, who looks for marching orders from Tony Stockman. They'll dribble it to the right side. They want to pick on Xavier Holland against Evan Mills a little bit. Holland fronting, now behind him, and they're going to get a foul on whom? Xavier Holland and Evan Mills, a pair of number 11s, and they're going to charge the number 11 in blue. It's his third. Xavier Holland, it's number 6 on the team. So OCU will shoot free throws on every foul from this point on. 5:42 to play in the game, a fresh 35. Looking to inbound is Evan Bartlett underneath the OCU basket. Looking for Benson underneath the rim. Nothing there. Instead goes out to Vaughn. Runner from 12 feet, no good. Tipped by Benson is no good, and a flat-footed rebound into the hands of Caleb Williams. Tied at 57. Every possession critical at this point. As we said, this is a mirror image of the game we saw at Mount Vernon just about a month ago. Russell right side, right elbow jumper, barely grazed the front of the rim, rebound into the hands of Lieberman. Still tied at 57. With it is Dawson off a screen, looking for something. He's double teamed, finds Angel. This is Lieberman, couple dribbles, right elbow jumper, too strong, but nobody boxed out Caleb Williams. That's what happens on pick and rolls. There's lots of adjustment by the defensive team, and even a good defensive team every once in a while loses a man. And they lost Lieberman right there and went to the left hand and put it in. 6 points for Mark Lieberman, came in averaging just under 10. And his basket there gives Mount Vernon a 59-57 lead. Crater and Nelson will check in at the next dead ball. Russell free throw line, looked for a jumper, instead to Benson right side, and that 18-footer missed everything out of bounds. It's probably not what the doctor ordered in a one-possession game with 4:22 to play. 59-57. Nelson looked winded the last time he was out on the floor. A lot of screens tonight. He's having to work jumping guards when they're screens. Let's see how much he can give. Tony Stockman here as we near 4 minutes to play in the game. 59-57. Angel to Pittman, around to the right side, and they're going to get a reach-in foul on Trayvon Crater, who was trying to D up Jason Dawson on that right baseline. Foul on Crater is only his first, only the 5th on OCU, so no penalty situation yet. Angel's going to inbound again. Matt Angel, Worthington Christian, 6'4" junior, one of 2 juniors on this team. Left side, it's Lieberman. That's Pittman with it, who had a good first half. Little jump hook over Nelson is right there again. It's his first field goal of the second half, but he only averaged 2 points coming in. He has had 4 big buckets in this one. And speaking of big buckets, Crater just put it in, and he'll look for one more at the line. Shot to the head is the call by the umpire, John Tipton. It's going to be charged to Pittman. It's his 3rd, the team's 7th. Trayvon Crater with his 2nd field goal in this basketball game, and OCU will shoot free throw number 8. The first free throw, I beg it's not right. They were 3 of 4 in the first half, and the free throw is no good. Now 5 of 8 for the game. Dawson quickly to the other end, spun it up on the backboard, but was hammered by one of the Trailblazers, and he will shoot 2. See who they charge this to. Remember, Nelson is playing with 3 fouls, and it looks like it's going to be charged to Evan Bartlett. It's his 3rd, team 6th. Nelson with 3 and Bartlett with 3 for OCU. First free throw is right there by Dawson. 23 points for Jason Dawson. Angel sits down. Caleb Williams is back in for him. Russell sits down for OCU. Oh, they're going to make him come back to the table and do it again. So a teaching moment by the men in stripes. Apparently Wesley didn't enter properly. He does now, and Evan Mills will sit down. Malcolm Pittman, Xavier Holland have 3 apiece for Mount Vernon, and backup forward Julian Henderson on the bench right now with 4 for Mount Moore's Cougars. Second free throw is good, and it is 63-59. Quick shot by OCU is no good. Trailblazers letting this thing begin to slip away. It's a 2-possession game, a 4-point lead. They need to stop here as we near 3 minutes to play in the game. Postgame show is coming up. There's a steal by Wesley Russell and a silly foul, but maybe I should retract that adjective. Malcolm Pittman picked up his fourth. It's number 8 on the team. And maybe silly isn't the right word because Russell looked like there may have been no resistance between him and the basket. And if that's the case, it may be the best foul of the night as they're going to force Wesley to go to the free throw line and earn his points as opposed to an uncontested layup at the other end. Free throw number 9 coming up for OCU, so they have not shot very many today. Russell has been there before, 63% of the year, and he hits the first free throw. So now 6 of 9, 67% for OCU. Russell with a team-high 15. Back in is Zach Zeltman. He's back with 4, sitting down as Pittman with 8. Russell 15, Nelson 13, Vaughn 13. They have accounted for 41 of OCU's 60. Second free throw by Russell comes up short. Williams another rebound. He has won the battle of the backboards today against the OCU front line as Caleb Williams. 63-60, 3:05 to play as Trey Vaughn gets a shot at Dawson here. Dawson got the step. He sets up Zeltman, who sets up Holland. One dribble, Holland a 3. It's right there. They had everybody rotating on the OCU side. One dribble, the player from the Trailblazers surged by, and it left Xavier Holland with a beautiful look for 3. Tony Stockman wants a timeout here with 2:54 to play. Trailblazers need baskets, they need stops. They trail by 6, 66-60, 2:54 to play in the game. This is the Ohio Christian University Trailblazer Basketball Network.
Trailblazer Basketball Network. The OCU Trailblazer Basketball Network, brought to you in part by
Domino's Pizza of Circleville, located on Lancaster Pike. 740-477-2541. 740-477-2541.
Circleville Subway is a proud sponsor of the OCU Trailblazers Basketball Network. Subway, eat fresh.
Service Master Clean by Todd George. They will help you get clean and stay that way at work and at home. 740-687-1077. Fairfield Christian Academy has a K-12 program that's committed to molding young minds to have a Christian worldview while providing an education of excellence. Learn more at fairfieldchristianacademy.com.
If you're enjoying today's game, watch it again at trailblazerbasketball.tv.
Jason Dawson with 24 points, 24 in Mount Vernon, 66. The Cougars lead 66-60 with 2:54 to play in the game. Mount Vernon back in action Friday night when they take on number 17 Tennessee Wesleyan. OCU with arguably the toughest stretch coming up in OCU men's basketball history, including Claremont tonight against Mount Vernon, Cedarville, Valor coming up number 1 in the USCAA, Wittenberg, Ashland. We'll tell you about it at the postgame show. Right side, it was Bartlett. Top of the key, left of center, Crater to Vaughn, left baseline. They get out on him quickly. A double team, back out to Crater. Gets into the lane, but lost the basketball. Ends up in the hands of Xavier Holland. 66-60 is our score. Under 2.5 minutes to play in the game. Trailblazers need stops. They come out aggressive. A double team gets the ball out of the hands of Holland. Right side to Dawson. He has had a huge game with 24 points. The one guy you do not want to let beat you here. Dawson got the step. Free throw line jumper. Backside of the iron, no good. The rebound to Trey Vaughn. Vaughn with his head up, looking to run. Left side, Crater again, tries to get into the lane again. Lost the basketball. First shot, no good. Caught it in midair and put it in. Good effort there by Trayvon Crater. Williams to the other end, put it up and in. Big fella in double digits. Second Cougar to hit that plateau. He's got 10. 68-62, a minute 40 to play in the game. Russell, Bartlett, several feet behind that three-point line. Down to Nelson. Nelson at the left block. Beautiful spin move. Got past Williams and took it over Zeltman and dropped it in. 15 for James Nelson. 68-64, can I say it again? Trailblazers need stops. Zeltman from up close, no good. Rebound OCU. Minute 12 to play in the game. Russell into the lane, hung there but could not finish. Advantage Mount Vernon as Russell slow getting up, and Matt Moore says we're not rushing anything. Cougars lead is 4 with 1:01 to play, and Matt Moore wants a timeout. Matt Angel is going to check in. We'll see if it's a full or a 30. It is a full. With 1:01 left to play in the game, 68-64. Why don't we take a break with them? A 30-second timeout, 61 seconds to play. Trailblazers trail by 4. This is OCU basketball on the Trailblazer Basketball Network.
You're watching the Trailblazer Basketball Network. The OCU Trailblazer Basketball Network, brought to you in part by
Domino's Pizza of Circleville, located on Lancaster Pike, 740-477-2541. 740-477-2541.
Circleville Subway is a proud sponsor of the OCU Trailblazers Basketball Network. Subway, eat fresh.
Service Master Clean by Todd George. They will help you get clean and stay that way at work and at home. 740-687-1077. Fairfield Christian Academy has a K-12 program that's committed to molding young minds to have a Christian worldview while providing an education of excellence. Learn more at fairfieldchristianacademy.com.
If you're enjoying today.
Hoops presented by the Circleville Subway, 68-64. OCU trails by 4, 29 on the shot clock, 1:01 to play in the game. We said this may be the toughest stretch that OCU men's basketball has ever faced. It started Friday night against UC Claremont. Don't forget they've already played Mount Vernon, Indiana Wesleyan, but the stretch here, Claremont, Mount Vernon, Cedarville at Cedarville on Saturday. Next Thursday in this building against the #1 team in the USCAA Valor, and then at Wittenberg on December 15th. They take 2 weeks off and then go to Ashland and NCAA Division II on the 29th of December. 68-64. It would be nice to go into some of those games with a 2-game win streak, and there's a steal by OCU. And to the other end, Crater could not finish. 68-64, the lead stays at 4. About a 7-second differential, and OCU's got a foul. They can't let Mount Vernon dribble this thing out or take the 30 seconds that were left on the shot clock. And so they commit a personal foul, and OCU, it is number 7. They're going to charge it to Crater. It's his second, team 7. Here comes James Nelson. Evan Mills sits down. 37.5 left, and a 1-and-1 opportunity here for Xavier Holland, who, according to my statistics, has not attempted a free throw in his 3 games since his hamstring injury, and makes it anyway. First free throw up and in. Mount Vernon now 10 of 14 from the charity stripe. Holland with 7. All of them here in the final 20 minutes. 69-64. Second one is good again. So Xavier Holland with 6. With 8, I beg your pardon. The lead is 6, 70-64, 30 seconds to play. Trailblazers right side, Vaughn's 3, no good. OCU's got a foul, they got to foul quickly. Tony Stockman yelling, pick it up. They've got to commit a foul, and they do on Jason Dawson. Foul is on Wesley Russell. It's his second, team's 8th. You'll see Zach Zeltman checking in now for Fairfield, or from Fairfield for Mount Vernon for defensive purposes. Zeltman is a, well, how do you say this kindly? Let's just say he shoots free throws kind of like Dwight Howard or Dennis Rodman at a clip of 48%. So Matt Moore got to go offense for defense. He can afford to have Zeltman in now, but cannot when OCU is looking to foul somebody. First free throw for Dawson is good, 25 points. For him, everybody else on this Mount Vernon team shoots free throws at a pretty good clip. Second one is good again, 26. 72-64, time running out on OCU. They trail by 8, they've got to score now. Russell to the rim, could not finish, rebound Mount Vernon. 10 seconds left, Tony Stockman yelling no fouls. Nelson tried to commit one anyway, 5 seconds left, and Mount Vernon gonna dribble out the clock. And they're gonna end a 4-game losing streak. They trailed by 2 at the intermission. They trailed by as many as 12 in that first half. But the Cougars win by 8. They get it done in the final 10 minutes of this game and pull out a 72-64 win. Coming up, the post-game show. We'll take a look at all the final numbers. We'll check in with head coach Tony Stockman and select our player of the game. Tuesday Night Hoops presented by Subway. Mount Vernon a winner, 72-64. We'll take a break. Back with more after this here on the Ohio Christian University Trailblazer Basketball Network.
The OCU Trailblazer Basketball Network, brought to you in part by
Domino's Pizza of Circleville, located on Lancaster Pike, 740-477-2541. 740-477-2541.
Circleville Subway is a proud sponsor of the OCU Trailblazers Basketball Network. Subway, eat fresh.
Service Master Clean by Todd George. They will help you get clean and stay that way at work and at home. 740-687-1077. Fairfield Christian Academy has a K-12 program that's committed to molding young minds to have a Christian worldview while providing an education of excellence. Learn more at fairfieldchristianacademy.com.
If you're enjoying today's game, watch it again at trailblazerbasketball.tv.
For the final score, Mount Vernon outscores OCU 39-29 in that second half, and they win by 8. It was a tight game down the stretch, and as Tony Stockman told us in the pregame interview, we asked him, Coach, how was Mount Vernon able to beat you in the initial meeting, 77-75? And he said, when it was, 15 ties, 11 lead changes, and he told us very candidly they executed better down the stretch, and we didn't. And I have a feeling when we put a headset on Coach Stockman, he's going to say the same thing about tonight's contest, as Mount Vernon made more plays down the stretch, and they end a 4-game losing skid and snap a 2-game win streak for the team from Circleville, Ohio. OCU drops to 5-3, and Mount Vernon back to the winning ways. They improved to 6-5, and as we said, they'll be back in action on Friday night against Tennessee Wesleyan as part of the Bryan College tournament down in Dayton, Tennessee. Some final scoring numbers as we wait for statistics in this one. 15 points for James Nelson, 15 for Wesley Russell to lead the way, 13 for Trey Vaughn, 7 for Milan Kostoff, 6 for Trayvon Crater, 5 for Evan Mills, 2 in the game for Devin Benson, and Jimmy Horton split a pair of free throws. He finishes with a point. OCU 6 of 10 from the charity stripe in this one for 60%. For Mount Vernon, it was really all Jason Dawson. He got some help at times. He got help from Caleb Williams in terms of the rebounds. Williams ends up with a double-double. He had 10 points in this game. They were the only 2 Cougars in double digits. 8 for Matt Angel, 8 for Malcolm Pittman. In terms of bench play, it was Pittman and Xavier Holland, 8 points apiece for Matt Moore off the Mount Vernon bench. Both of them played well. 8 for Holland, all of them in the final 20 minutes. 6 for Lieberman, 4 for Zach Zeltman, the pride of Lancaster High School, or Lancaster, Ohio, Fairfield Christian High School, and Julian Henderson had 2 points for Mount Vernon as well. The Cougars, 13 of 17 from the charity stripe in the game for 76%. We said OCU was 6 of 10 from the charity stripe for 60%. Coming up, we'll check in with Tony Stockman. He's going to make his way over here momentarily. We'll tell you what's up next for the Trailblazers, our next broadcast, all that good stuff. But let's take a quick 60-second timeout. It's the post-game show. Mount Vernon a winner, 72-64. This is the OCU Trailblazer Basketball Network.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
Well, obtaining a college degree is important to me because I'm a single mother. I work full-time and I want a better life for me and my son, and I realize I'm the only one that can do that.
I needed the convenience of being able to work full-time
as well as still get my bachelor's degree in psychology, as well as be a part of a family and be a wife.
Obtaining a college degree to me means that I can further my career in getting a better job, as well as meeting my end goal, which would be to become a professor someday.
Here at Ohio Christian University, we offer programs in a convenient format to help serve the adult that might not have time to go to school during the day or take classes multiple days during the week. We offer classes one night a week. You take one class at a time, either in an on-site format, or if you prefer online, we offer online classes just the same, one class at a time.
The AGS program is set up to where it's very convenient for me as a working adult to be able to still obtain my bachelor's degree.
The flexibility is very good with the AGS program. I can do my homework whenever I have time, whether it's at night or if I'm up early in the morning, I can do it at that time. And really you can work a full-time job and go to school full-time at the same time. So convenience is one of the greater advantages to the AGS program.
The sky is the limit with the flexibility at Ohio Christian University.
You have the option to attend class at one of our 12 locations, and you can choose whichever is most convenient, closest to your home or closest to your workplace. If that doesn't work for you, you also have the option to take class online without ever having to step foot into a classroom. One other neat aspect is that you only have to register for all of your classes one time. There's no standing in line and no additional waiting.
We invite you to attend Ohio Christian University.
Back here with Tony Stockman here in the Maxwell Leadership Center. OCU drops a tough one today, a game that they had a 12-point lead in the first half, 24-12. They led 35-33 after one, and they lose tonight 72-64. Coach Stockman does join us, and Coach, I remember the pregame interview we had when you said back on November 3rd they just made more plays down the stretch. Was it kind of the same scenario tonight?
Yeah, I felt like we had our opportunities to, to cut it to 2 or to take the lead at times, but every time, we missed a layup or missed a shot, and I felt like they got to the balls a little bit more, and I feel like our guys were a little tired at the end. The starters guys, I felt like I left them in a little bit too long in the first half, and I think it wore them down a little bit, and I think that showed.
Nobody really hurt you in this game in terms of the scoring except for the guy that you kind of expected, Dawson. Your thoughts on maybe how you did against everybody else?
Well, I thought we did a good job. I think their offense, they ran it very good. In the second half, they were really swinging the ball, and we could never catch up to it. And that hurt us, and then they would get open shots. And like we talked about, they made shots down the stretch. I feel like we had our opportunities for sure, and we missed.
Anything offensively? Defensively, you're saying they move the ball, as you were saying off the air, the ball moves faster than the guy. Anything you would have liked to have seen different on the offensive end when you needed buckets at crunch time?
Yeah, we had a little trouble without having Kenny here. We had a little bit of trouble with execution. So, we usually had our regular rotation, and that threw us off a little bit. And then when we had when we tried to run plays, certain guys didn't know that position. So we were putting in lineups that weren't necessarily comfortable playing together because they haven't.
Good, a lot of good effort tonight. You look at Wesley with 15, Nelson with 15, Trey gives you 13. I guess that's a positive. A lot of guys scored tonight. It was a balanced effort that maybe they rely more on Dawson than you do on any one guy, and kind of maybe that's a positive moving forward.
Yeah, I feel good. It's a loss and you hate to lose, but I feel good. We're growing and we're getting better, and playing teams like this, it helps us. They play really good together, swinging the ball and getting what their team needs, and that helps us learn to do that stuff. But like I said, I felt like we were right there. We just missed a couple of baskets and layups that we had chances, and we turned them over down the stretch, and we just didn't convert the layups or the open shots.
And Coach, I guess before we let you go, you talk about how tough this game is. I was saying on the air, I think this is probably the toughest stretch that an OCU men's program has ever played. Talking about starting on Friday with Claremont, and now tonight, and looking ahead to Wittenberg, Cedarville, Ashland, even Valor, I think the last time I saw was #1 in the USCAA. Just your thoughts on the grueling stretch ahead and what it might say about this OCU men's program.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. Like you said, it's going to be some good teams, some well-coached teams, teams with some good athletes and good players. And all it's going to do is make us better. Our goal is to be ready in March, and these games get us ready for that. And, we're not going to see teams at that level when we get down there. So it's good to play with them. We don't want to lose, and we want to compete, and we're going to win. And but the goal is to get better every game and
Sure.
win that last one.
Is this something we'll see more of in the Tony Stockman era, more of these kind of games and less of maybe the OU Lancasters or OU Chillicotes that are 40-point shellackings?
Yeah, most definitely. We want to have our schedule as hard as possible, and like I said, we're not trying to say, oh, let's go play these guys and get beat. We're trying we want to get the guys here, and we want to compete. And I feel like we got a team this year that can compete, and we just want to continue to get better and be ready in March.
You mentioned that Kenny Cooper no longer with the program. If there's one guy that maybe you've pulled him aside already and said, hey, this is an opportunity and we need you to step up, who's a guy that's going to log some of those minutes and really be counted on?
I think it's going to be two guys. It's going to be Evan Mills and it's going to be Trayvon Crater, who actually started for us for a while. But those two guys are going to get those minutes, and we need them to step up and play and be aggressive and like I say, enjoy playing basketball, and they get more opportunity to do that now.
Coach, we won't see you till after Christmas. We'll be with you at Ashland, an audio broadcast on the 29th. So appreciate your time today. Happy holidays, and thanks again for talking hoops with us.
Thank you.
That's the head coach of the Trailblazers, Tony Stockman, here on the postgame show. Trailblazers lose tonight 72-64. Mount Vernon with the win improves to 6-5. They are back in action on Friday night down in Dayton, Tennessee. They will take on Tennessee Wesleyan in a tournament at Bryan College. OCU with the losses drops to 5-3. It ends a 2-game win streak for the OCU Trailblazers. Back in action on Saturday at Cedarville, a 4 p.m. start. They'll take on Valor next Thursday night, December the 13th, an 8 p.m. tip here in the Leadership Center. And then their final game of the first semester is December 15th, a Saturday at Wittenberg, a 3 p.m. tip. We'll get underway. Our next broadcast is Saturday, December the 29th. It is a 4 p.m. tip from Ashland. Last I heard, this was going to be an exhibition for both teams, OCU and Ashland. I'm trying to confirm that, but it'll be a 4 p.m. tip. Airtime with the pregame show is set for 3:40 from Ashland University. It is an audio-only broadcast, so use that Listen Live link on the OCU website to tune in for that one. I want to say thanks to JT Burcham and his crew from Fairfield Digital Media. Thanks to Tony Stockman, Ben Belleman, and our entire broadcast team. Thanks to Matt Moore and Dave Parsons and the folks at Mount Vernon for helping us prepare for these broadcasts as well. Thanks to our sponsors, Jonna Thompson with the Circleville Subways. It puts a wrap on Tuesday Night Hoops presented by Subway. And thanks also to Domino's Pizza, the exclusive pizza of OCU Athletics. But thanks goes most of all to you for listening. OCU drops a tough one, 72-64. Again, they dropped to 5-3. For our entire broadcast team, it's Rick Cooper saying so long from the Maxwell Leadership Center. Have a good night, everybody.
There was a little bit of momentum that was kind of happening, and that was done through whether it's possession.
I knew that attending Ohio Christian University
would prepare me for whatever lies ahead.
What I didn't know is how I would pay for my education.
I wondered how complex the process was and if I would be eligible to receive financial aid.
Well, that's when I found the OCU Financial Aid website.
At Ohio Christian, the process is simple.
The OCU Financial Aid website provided me with the information I needed to start and complete the process. I learned how to fill out my free application for federal student aid. Soon after completing my FAFSA, an Ohio Christian Financial Aid counselor determined which aid was available for me and answered all my questions about my options.
Options like grant.
You're watching the Trailblazer Basketball Network. The OCU Trailblazer Basketball Network, brought to you in part by
Domino's Pizza of Circleville, located on Lancaster Pike, 740-477-2541. 740-477-2541.
Circleville Subway is a proud sponsor of the OCU Trailblazers Basketball Network. Subway, eat fresh.
Service Master Clean by Todd George. They will help you get clean and stay that way at work and at home. 740-687-1077. Fairfield Christian Academy has a K-12 program that's committed to molding young minds to have a Christian worldview while providing an education of excellence. Learn more at fairfieldchristianacademy.com.
If you're enjoying today's game, watch it again at trailblazerbasketball.tv.